Tomorrow could be a pivotal day for stocks because when this happens, are we going to see stocks go ahead and invalidate the potential lower high, or are we going to turn back down, potentially forming an ABC pattern in this market? In today's video, we're also going to announce the winner of the Take Profit Trader 50K test account from yesterday's video. And stay tuned to the end of this video because I'm sharing with you guys how you guys can also have the opportunity to win a Take Profit Trader account inside today's video. Now, we come over and look at how the indices fared across the board today. The Dow was up 81 points. NASDAQ was up 252 points. S&P 500 up 45 points, with the Russell 2000 being down 0.27. We come over to look at advanced issues versus decline, and we had 53.5% of issues advancing on the day. Then as we come over and look at the sectors across the board, we almost had a 50-50 split. Half the sectors in the green, half their sectors in the red. The big laggard out there today was healthcare. The winners out there, consumer cyclicals, consumer defensives, and technology. And I'm really surprised technology didn't do a lot better than what we see on this graph right here. Because if we come over and look at a chart real quick of Apple today rocketing up 5.1%. And even though we're in earnings seasons, and no, today's move in Apple was not due to earnings. We can see part of why Apple actually went up. Apple stock soars on new 100 billion US investment. Trump touts factories. Now, Trump's going to be speaking about this here, I think at 4:30, something like that. So any moment now. However, what could even be more beneficial out here to Apple stock is Apple stock gains a new announcement with Trump could help its tariff problem. Now, we all know that, Trump said, you're going to get a tariff, you get a tariff, you get a double tariff, yada, yada, yada. And every time they say the word tariff, it's starting to lose its effect on the markets. We're not seeing the big knee-jerk reactions like we saw earlier in this year. And with the fact that Tim Cook is now going to bend the knee somewhat to Trump, could this actually help Apple out with the tariffs? Because let's not forget, tomorrow, Trump's new tariffs will start. And we're going to see on August 7th, will this play a part in how stocks actually trade tomorrow? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And keep on the theme with Trump's tariffs, Trump slaps India with an additional 25% tariff over Russia energy trade. And we're going to see, eventually everything will be resolved. And even with this coming out today, if we would have heard that news a few months back, we would have seen the market going down, not rocketing up like we saw today. And notice we actually closed with the P as in Paul shape profile for today. Now, as we come over and look at the volatility index real quick, we see we're just barely over into neutral territory. We have a reading of 55. I think earlier today on the live stream, we saw it move to 57. And if you guys don't want to miss the next time I go live, make sure you subscribe. You have the bell notifications turned on for all. And we look at the volatility index today, the VIX was down 6.22%. On the daily chart, you can see the VIX basically came right down, filling the gap. And if we look at the VIX on the 5-minute chart, we can see the VIX continue to dwindle lower all day long. With a lower VIX, that normally is going to favor the bulls in the market. Now, if we look at the dollar index today, dollar index also on the 5-minute chart had quite the move back down. You can see we're right back down into that weekly zone we've been talking about. Now, if the dollar index really goes substantially lower from this point on, that's going to invalidate the potential ABC pattern that we were talking about not too long ago. We also come over and take a look at crude oil. Crude oil breaking below the swing point right over here. And if crude oil really gives way below 62.70, watch out. The next target's going to be about 56.06. Now, if we come over and look at the SPY real quick, SPY, you can see we violated the 61.8 fib level, but until we break the 78.6, I'm not 100% convinced we're going to go all the way up making new all-time highs. I still think there's a shot that we end up making a lower high. And at that point, we can form what's called an A to B equals C to D pattern. Now, if today's high actually holds, which I doubt it will, we'll probably go a little bit higher tomorrow, especially since we have some economic data coming out. But we had the impulse leg down. We had the corrective move back up. If we were to stop at today's high, we can see we'd still have a price projection where we broke out of that all-time high earlier this year. Then we come over and look at the 4-hour chart. MACD indicator kind of just about to cross on the way back up on the 4-hour chart. 30-minute chart, MACD indicator looks a little bit tired up here. It looks like the two lines want to start to cross on the way back down. And if we look at the volume profile shape, what does it represent? It's a P as in Paul. Now, how do we trade this? Well, one, what's very important is we want to see where the distribution is at. Distribution meaning where is the most volume traded? The further the profile sticks out, the more volume was traded at that specific price. So if we really start breaking below value or low, that opens the door to the market coming down towards the lower third of the range at about 629.74. if we can break above this distribution area and hold, then you know what? We're probably going all the way back. We're probably going all the way up to the 78.6 fib level off the daily chart. Then beyond that, we look for a new all-time high in the markets. I want to make you guys aware of some amazing prop firm deals out there. Apex Trader Funding, 80% off all their evaluation accounts, passing as little as 1 day. Tradeify, 35% off all account sizes. Use promo code Mike for those two prop firms. Last but not least, Take Profit Trader, the prop firm with the best payout policy out there. You can get 40% off all their evaluation accounts, no activation fee, and get your test fee refunded on your first payout. To take advantage of that offer, use promo code Epitome at checkout. Now, if we come over and look at the futures markets real quick, we start off looking at the 4-hour chart. This is something we were talking about on the live stream this morning. Was this going to be an A to B equals C to D pattern on the way down, or do we have an ABC pattern on the way up? You can see now this afternoon, we are able to breach above the swing points right over here. So technically, we have validated the ABC pattern, which gives us a price target of 64.52.5. However, could this also be a little double top pattern? Because you can see we wicked above it when we didn't, and we failed to close above that price point. Now, when we come over and look at the daily profiles on the 30-minute chart, there was a key level that we had mapped out in this morning's analysis, the A to B equals C to D pattern, which completed at 63.70. And unfortunately for me, I kept looking for the market to come down. I was hoping we're actually gonna come down, sweep this low, and then come back up. So I ended up fighting the market. It was like 1 step forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. So today on the live stream, I did struggle here just a bit. But as we look at this, you can see we have the distribution area of the profile. We closed right near where the point of control was. And you can see last night, we were able to take out the P point once again. So as I'm looking at this, if the market's going to start to pull back, right here would be a logical location. We see we have a swing point right here. Then if we look left, we also have a minus development area within the volume profile. So if we do start to retrace this move up, that would be a logical retracement area. Now on the 30-minute chart, if we grab our fib from the swing low up here to the swing high, notice the 38% retracement also aligns very closely with that prior high. So if you're looking to fade the market, this would be a logical target to the downside. And if we're staying below value area high, that would make sense. Ideally, I'd like to see a push above value area high, and then we go ahead and turn back down, potentially taking out that level. And then we'll see, can we come down towards value area low and then potentially go lower to some of those weekly volume profile levels, to some of the weekly levels, maybe all the way back down towards the low. And at some point, maybe this just turns in to some type of consolidation until the market ends up breaking. And it can still break to the upside, or maybe we break and we come all the way back down. Now, in yesterday's video, I shared with you guys how you can win a Take Profit Trader test account. And I went ahead and pulled a random winner out of the comment section, which typed in the correct code at Rick Sanchez 1975. You are the winner. In the pinned comment section below this video, leave me a comment so we can work on getting that account transferred over to you. Now, if you guys want a chance to win a Take Profit Trader test account, make sure you put in the comment section down below, TPT, use code Epitome. Now, if we come over and look at the QQQs real quick, Qs spiking on the way up, was able to take out that swing point over here. And you can see we're really right between the 61.8 and the 78.6 Fibonacci retracement levels. So if we're going to end up forming a lower high in this market, this would be a logical area where we'd look for that turn to take place. MACD indicator still crossed to the downside on the daily chart. On the 4-hour chart, it looks like the MACD indicator may want to try to cross up here just a bit. And let's not forget, we still have that large gaping gap left behind from earlier this week. And as we come over and look at the 30-minute chart, we have 2 distribution peaks here. I'm still going to classify this as a P as in Paul, and depending on how aggressive of a trader you are, if we start breaking below this first distribution area here, we can then look to target the high volume node on the next distribution area of 565.96. If we really start getting below 565.57, then I want to look for the market to come all the way back down to about 563.05, which was a prior swing point right over here. We broke out from, we closed above it, and we have failed to come back and retest that level at this moment. MACD indicator still crossed to the upside on the 30-minute chart at about a 45-degree angle on the way up. Now, as we come over and look at the NASDAQ futures real quick, you can notice not only were we able to break above the swing point here, but it appears we're also going to close above this area as well. And that could really open the door that we're likely going to go ahead and take out the point of control above us at about 23,486.75. Now, if we map out this ABC pattern, it would go something like this. The A to B leg, the B to C leg being the corrective leg, which is right down here. And then we go ahead and we project for D would complete at 23,676.75, which is very close towards value area high. And that would give us a potential full volume profile rotation off of the weekly charts. Now, as we come over, look at the daily volume profile real quick on the 30-minute chart. Notice we had that very similar pattern we talked about with the S&P. NASDAQ smashing through that level and continue to go higher and higher throughout the day. There was simply no looking back, but a lot of that had to do with we really had very little economic news today. For instance, you look at the economic calendar for Wednesday, we had a 10-year bond auction at 101, crude oil inventory numbers, and that's really all we had. But tomorrow things changed a little bit. We have the weekly unemployment claims coming out, and we'll see if we see a weakening of the labor market, if that'll be enough to sway the market one way or the other. Then on Friday, we really have no major economic news to contend with. So now as we're looking at today's volume profile, what am I expecting? Well, we kind of have two different distribution areas. One right here, and then we have a nice little valley, aka minus development area, before the next distribution area. So if we can break above value area high and start coming back down, I'd want to target the point of control, then this minus development area, then the high volume node over here, next minus development area about 23,295, then really this structure breakout point that we broke out from, and we have failed to come back and retest at this moment. Also, I want to pay attention to where the new P point is going to be tonight, as that will be a high probability target for me tonight and tomorrow. Now, if you'd like to learn about Take Profit Traders micro scalping rules, then you want to make sure to check out this next video right here.